Hello, and thank you for coming to the McWaters Effect. I'm your host, Matt. Today we're going to be talking about JFK and flying saucers. But first, I need you to hit like and subscribe. Helps the channel grow. Now let's get on with the show. Now, first thing you're going to think is, did JFK ever have a UFO sighting? No, he didn't. But he was interested in UFOs, and he actually asked a question to the CIA and demanded to be shown highly confidential documents about UFOs just 10 days before his assassination in Dallas. Now, there's been a lot of speculation as to why he was assassinated. I'm not one that subscribes to that. I don't believe the federal government had anything to do with it, in my opinion. I mean, there's a bunch of conspiracy theories on who assassinated him, why he was assassinated, so on and so forth. I'm not one to subscribe to any of them, right? In my opinion, because I just don't know. Now, there's a lot of evidence that it could just been a lone nut, Lee Harvey Oswald, or it could have been the mob, or it could have been some other forces out there that didn't want him to be president. I'm not sure. But I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the about UFOs on this episode. But not only did he ask the CIA and demand to be shown highly confidential documentation of UFOs, he also wrote a memo requesting it as well. As you see right here, it was declassified in, I believe, in the 90s. As you can see, he did it November 12th, 1963. Now, he was assassinated on November 22nd, 1963. Now, during the time that he was president, there was massive cover-ups when it comes to UFOs and alien abductions and so on and so forth by Project Blue Book. And it was happening under his administration as well as under the two before him, which would have been Truman and Eisenhower. Now, Truman, when he was president, he actually went on national television and talked about the topic about flying saucers and other things such as that. And then when it comes to Eisenhower, supposedly there's a rumor that he actually met with extraterrestrials and had a meeting with them and negotiated with them about them coming to the Earth. Now, when it comes to the story about Eisenhower, I find it far-fetched, but it's interesting. But it's far-fetched to me. But when it comes to what they have said about Harry Truman and also, of course, Kennedy, I could see that. I could see this being true. Now, here's a story about JFK's pilot revealing what the president knew about UFOs and extraterrestrials. The interesting thing about this pilot, though, is in the 50s, he actually had dogfights with UFOs, supposedly chasing them, trying to capture them back in the 50s. And when they didn't, he actually had to keep things quiet. Later on, that's when he goes on record with this movie that came out. It's called Acknowledged. It came out in 2017. There's a bunch of interviews with people that were in the government, pretty much coming out with the truth about UFOs and extraterrestrials. Everything from the crashed ships we've captured and also alien bodies. Now, I'm going to show the video. It's a little clip from the movie with that particular pilot talking about his conversation with JFK.
And that morning, in two of the English-speaking newspapers, there was a picture of two UFOs. So I had placed those on his table where he was going to be sitting. And I said, "Good morning, Mr. President." I sat him down and said, "We'd like to have coffee and juice." And he said, "Yes." So while I was getting that, he's looking at the papers. I came back in. President Kennedy says, "What do you think?" I looked at him, and I looked down at the picture, and I says, "Well, sir, what do you think?" And with that magnificent grin of his, he said, "I asked you first." I said, "From what I've learned, we can't be the only living beings in God's creation." And he says, "You're right, young man. There is considerable knowledge as far as the actual being of UFO and ET phenomena that we're aware of today."
Now, I've also seen this movie as well. And there's actually supposedly some documented evidence that JFK actually saw some of the ships crashed in the United States that were of alien origins. I haven't seen the documentation. I can't find it online. So it's something that I'm not 100% sure it's true. And then they actually talked about Marilyn Monroe. Supposedly she was having an affair with JFK as well as his brother, Bobby Kennedy. And supposedly she was privy to seeing an alien spacecraft that was captured by the military as well when she went out onto a military base with one of them, which I am completely don't believe. I don't believe that. I don't see why they would bring a model/movie star onto a military base just so to see evidence of UFOs. You know, I don't see Bobby Kennedy or JF Kennedy actually doing something like that. Sounds stupid. I believe quite a bit from this movie. Is pretty convincing, but there's some of it it's a stretch. Okay, guys, this is the point of the show where I give my opinion. Do I think JFK knew anything about UFOs? More likely, yes. I believe most of the presidents that have been in office since the 1940s have gotten information about UFOs, and now in past, probably not. Like what happened in other administrations, they probably don't know anything about. They know what's going on in their administration and what's happened. But some presidents are part of the intelligence community, like someone like George Bush, probably knew more than someone that's like Bobby Kennedy, who was just a senator before he became president, or someone like Reagan, who was a governor before he became president. People like that more likely knows more, and especially definitely knows what happened in other administrations before then, because they were part of the intelligence community. As well as some of the senators that are part of the intelligence department that they review and look at intelligence and determine what should be classified, what shouldn't be, so on and so forth. Those senators probably have quite a bit of knowledge about the UFOs as well. So in a nutshell, how much did he know? Not a lot. He knew enough that UFOs are real, and he knew enough to ask the question to the CIA, hey, can I see more documentation about this? And go on from there. And of course they rejected it and said no, just like they did to Bill Clinton and any other president that would ask that question. Because really the president is a temporary employee. They would say, you're not privy to this information. It's plausible deniability, pretty much is what it is. It's just a way of them protecting their ass and protecting the president's ass. Now it's time to go for my quote of the day, and I decided to go with Harry Truman's quote. I can assure you that flying saucers, given that they exist, are not constructed by any power on Earth. End quote. Alright guys, this is the end of the show. Hope you enjoyed. If you didn't, I don't know what to tell you. But please hit like and subscribe. Helps the channel grow. Peace.